Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Be For Real #Leaders Matter. I'm Dr. E. Michelle Mickens. I'm the CEO of Live for Change. Live for Change is a global strategic leadership development consultancy. And today, episode number 4, we're going to talk about briefly a few of the topics that I actually wrote an article on. The article is the top 10 topics and trends in leadership concerning 2020. It's the top 10 topics and trends in leadership for 2020. And so I thought that I would highlight just a few of those things in today's episode. And I want to encourage you to check out my blog at www.live4changellc.com/blogs. That's www.live4changellc.com/blogs. And you'll find the article there among many other blogs that I've written. So I want to dive right in. And the purpose of doing this particular episode is not so much for you as a leader to think that these are topics that you need to be concerned about. Not at all. Perhaps you'll see, yeah, you know what? There are some things in common here. But as you're shaping, because we know that many, depending on what stage you are in, I know many of you all are still in the planning stage. As you're moving forward, you're constantly looking at, are we on target, for example, for January? This is the end of January. And so many of you all are already assessing, where are we? And you have your ear to the grind. I believe that this is the year of the employee, the stakeholder. And we know that there are other stakeholders, but for today's episode, the focus is on the employee. Many leaders are concerned about how they can better engage with their employee. After all, they are true stakeholders, and we want to get the best out of them. But in order to get the best out of that talent, we need to make sure that we're giving them our best. So let's just jump right into the first one that I want to share, the first topic that's trending rapidly. And that is under the name CSR. CSR, not meaning customer service representative, but I'm talking about corporate social responsibility, which is actually one of my favorite topics. And what we're seeing in the industry is that more organizations are committed to be purpose-driven with a focus on corporate social responsibility. Now, briefly, I'll define what corporate social responsibility is, and I'll use it in my language because you can look it up, like you look up the word leader in leadership, and you'll find a plethora of definitions. But for today's topic, I see it as how corporations show up in the world. How do they show up, and how are they protecting the planet? How are they protecting people? How are they making their profit? And how is everything that they do tied to their purpose? Those are 4 P's. Many will talk about 3 pillars, but I've added the purpose as an additional pillar because I just believe that in all that we do, the purpose should matter more than anything. Are we moving and operating in purpose? And so interestingly enough, one of the hot topics, if you will, that is being discussed among leaders, and actually this piece that I'm sharing with you, it started the latter part of December last year, or maybe I should just say the latter part of last year, because I'm not sure if it was really in December, but nevertheless, in the world of corporate social responsibility, organizations are pressing beyond a profits focus and are choosing to become more purpose focused. So they're not so much focused on just making profits. And we know that we've seen this trending for many years now. But the latter part of 2019, 181 CEOs, and I'm looking at my notes to make sure I got this right, 181 CEOs of companies such as Amazon, such as Apple, Coca-Cola, Best Buys, Target, PepsiCo, Walmart, and more, they collectively signed an agreement to the following. 1, to deliver value to their customers. 2, to invest in their employees. 3, to deal fairly and ethically with their suppliers. 4, to support the communities in where they're working. And 5, to generate long-term value for shareholders. So I thought that this was very pertinent, especially in the world of corporate social responsibility. And it just goes to show that it's not just about how we're making money, but it's about doing good, doing the right thing, not just because it's the right thing to do, but it's good for business. So I thought that that was worth mentioning. Number 2, stakeholder relationships. I already tapped a little bit on that whole employee experience. You'll hear that more and more. So I'm going to ask you, do you offer the employee experience? And it's going to vary from company to company. But the whole point of the employee experience is to provide the most positive atmosphere, work environment, the most positive culture for your employees. Because let me share this fact with you that I found stunning. O.C. Tanner completed an annual study on organizational culture, and they gathered research of over 20,000 employees and leaders around the globe. And so one of the outcomes was this stunning number. 79% of those surveyed experience burnout. 79%. That's high. And that, my question to you is this something that you're finding among your employees? Are they experiencing burnout? There are signs of burnout, especially if you're seeing high turnover, but not even just that. You're finding that there's high absenteeism. You find that many of your employees are lethargic. They show up, but you can tell that they're showing up just to try to get the work done. Or there are a lot of complaints. You know, they're not feeling well. They're just not operating at their optimal level. Bad management, chronic workplace, culture. These are things that absolutely causes your employees to burn out. So that's something to think about. You want to avoid the high cost of healthcare and absenteeism. You want to provide your employees the experience. And one way to do that is to begin to engage in some real conversation. Ask them how they're doing. Find out what they love about their work. Find out what they find challenging about their work. One of the biggest complaints outside of a toxic work environment, one of the other biggest complaints that the stakeholders are having is that there is no real conversation between leadership and them, that there's this divide. So I'm encouraging you, I implore you, have some conversation. Talk to the team leaders and just show up. Show up on the floor yourself. And be polite, be friendly, be engaging, and ask sincere questions about how they're doing. And find out, is there something that you can do to make it better for them? After all, you want to make the profit? You want to reap the benefits? You want to see your revenues go up? You want to take care of one of your best assets. And that, your best asset, your people. Your people are your best assets. And so that just leads into number 3, and we'll end on this. Again, I want to encourage you, go check out my blog at www.live4changellc.com/blogs. You'll find this topic and more. There are 3 that we're kind of touching on today, but there's, again, a total of 10. And you want to begin to just look at where you currently stand as an organization, as a leader, and what changes you may want to consider making as you're moving forward throughout the year. Number 3 is the investment. Are you investing in your people? And I'm talking about not just training. There's some basic training that many organizations have in place, but are you also giving them the support by having the mentors and other leaders. Listen, I gotta go. Be blessed. God bless you. Thank you for your time.